Hello everybody and welcome back to the garden. It's gonna be a quick video, well, hopefully some tomato care and preparation for my crop rotation, so let's go. I'm here in my greenhouse looking at my tomatoes, so we're gonna tie up the tomatoes back to the bamboo sticks. If you don't do that, they're gonna turn into a triffid, most likely. It's a very easy and straightforward job. Let me just quickly show you how I do that. So this is our volunteer. We're gonna demonstrate on this one. I'm gonna do exactly the same thing with all the other plants, but let me just show you. As you can see, there's a bamboo stick. That's where it's supposed to be growing, but it's trying to go this way, trying to find more light. But if I let it, it's just gonna take over the greenhouse, flop all over the place. So that needs to be tied up. And the other thing that needs doing is removing the suckers. This one here in the center is the sucker. That's the leaf. That's the main stem. So at the junction with the leaf and the main stem, there's a new branch going. I'm gonna remove all of them from everywhere I can see. You could actually leave them to grow. They're gonna produce more fruits, but the plant gonna get really tangled and overcrowded. So it's up to you. Here in UK with our climate, that's just inviting early blight. So we like to keep the plants loose and airy, not overcrowded too much, so that's gonna get removed. Also, if I can find it somewhere, some of the varieties, actually our volunteer is doing that. When you have the flower, when you have the fruit trusses, sometimes at the end of the truss it's trying to grow more leaf and more branches. So if I see any more of those, they're gonna get removed as well. This is all to help with the ventilation, to keep the space more open, so we can prevent the blight. Here in UK we're getting blight every single year, so the question is how soon we're gonna get it, if we're gonna get harvest before the blight or not. Usually in the greenhouses it's quite easy. We can kind of control the environment. Don't water the plants, just water the soil under the plants. Don't keep the leaves too moist and damp. That all slows down the blight. But if you grow them outside here in UK, it's really a lottery. Here where I am in Norfolk, more often than not, I'm not getting any fruits at all because of the blight. That's why I tend to grow all my tomatoes in the greenhouse. So yeah, less talking, more working. Let's tie up the tomatoes back to the bamboo sticks. There's one more thing I forgot to tell you. I'm gonna be removing the lower leaves as well. They're not doing much work anymore. Whoa, that's a grape attacking me. What was I saying? Yeah, I'm gonna be removing the lower leaves on all of the plants, probably a foot and a half from the ground. So that's another thing that helps with the ventilation and keeping the tomatoes healthy and growing. So yeah, let's do some tomato care. All you need for that job is a piece of string and some scissors. Well, secateurs will do as well. It couldn't be really simpler. Always remember, when you're tying up your tomatoes back to the support, leave a good gap. I can put a finger in between the bamboo stick and the plant. Don't strangle the plant, don't tie too tight. And now it's just a question of finding the suckers. Anything, even the tiny ones like that, gonna go. It's quite easy to find. They always grow in the junction in between the leaf and the main stem. And with this one at the end of the fruit cluster, I'm just gonna cut it after the last flower. That can go as well. So one done. How many I have here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 7 more to go. Just to show you, last week I missed one. That's how fast they grow. Actually, with this one you can put it in a glass of water. They usually root. You can get another free plant, but I don't have any space to put any more plants anymore, but that's an option as well. Okay, so I have them all tied up to the bamboo sticks. Now I'm just gonna remove the lower leaves. It's best to use the secateurs for that. The leaves don't come off that easy, so the secateurs is the best option. Well, I think that looks much better. Let me quickly show you close up. Okay, so here we are. As you can see, it's much more spacious at the bottom. There's no more leaves anymore. Oh, I'm lying, I've just noticed one. The old ones are easier to remove. Yeah, as I was saying, it's much more spacious at the bottom. There's no more leaves anymore. You probably have noticed I left most of the garlic still. I think they are still growing, so I'm gonna let them. I lost probably half of them to the onion white rot, but I'm still hoping I'm gonna get some from this bunch here. But yeah, that's the tomato care done for a week. Next week gonna be another round of tying up and removing the suckers, but that's for the next week. Okay, and here's the second job I want to do today. It's my crop rotation preparation. I'm gonna sow some more French bean and Coco Pampoil. They should be ready in about a month, I would say, to be planted out. Actually, I could probably sow them in the space of the broad beans that I recently harvested, but I think that's the safer option. They can grow a bit in the pots, and then I can plant them when they are bigger. It's safer with the slugs. When the plants are bigger, they're much more likely to survive. I also gonna sow last of my white cabbage. It's a golden acre summer cabbage. It's quite fast growing. I have some here already, so I'm hoping that's gonna give me a late autumn harvest. And as always, every couple of weeks I'm gonna sow a little bit of lettuce to keep me going the whole summer. So yeah, I have my station prepared. I'm gonna be using my garden soil. That's a kind gift from my mole. Let's look at the positive. He's destroying the lawn, but at least he's providing me with some nice soil. I have my pots, my seeds, so let's do some sowing. Just realized now I forgot my labels. I don't want to go back to the house and get the labels. Let's do it this way. The red pots gonna be Coco de Pampoil, and any other color, mostly black, gonna be the French beans. And lettuce gonna go in a usual thing. So as always, just fill it up with soil, make a small dents. The lettuce seeds are quite small. It's probably gonna work better without the gloves. Those are my own saved seeds from last year, so there's plenty of chaff in them, but there's definitely some seeds as well. I'm just putting tiny pinch in each cell. Most likely I'm gonna get a couple of plants germinating, but that's alright. And just cover it slightly with soil, not too much, maybe half a centimeter or less. Tap it down, and after I finish with all the other seeds, I'm gonna give it all a good water. So that's lettuce done. Let's do some cabbages. Same routine really. Put some soil in the pot. Let me have a look how many seeds I have. It's not much. 20 to 30 seeds. They are quite small seeds. Well, not really that small, but still. I'm gonna sprinkle all of them in one pot. They're gonna need pricking out later on when they germinate. So that's all in, and like with lettuce, cover it slightly with the soil. That's another one done. Need to remember to buy more cabbage seeds. I could try to grow some cabbages for seeds for next year, but it seems they always die in the winter for me. Maybe I would need to try some different variety, but I like the golden acre. And now let's do the beans. Like with the other one, I'm just filling the pots with the soil. I've put everything on the seed tray, so it's going to be easier for me to water. It's middle of the summer. We're getting quite hot. Well, hot. We were supposed to be getting heat wave. They promised 30 degrees. It was about 26 yesterday, 27 today, and tomorrow, that's it, back to normal, 20 to 25. But yeah, in the summer it's much easier for me to keep the pots and seedlings on the tray. I can flood the whole tray with the water and let the plant and the soil absorb all the water. Otherwise they're gonna dry out way too quick. All those seeds except the cabbage are my saved seeds, so they should be quite viable. I imagine I'm gonna get close to 100% germination. We'll see. So after laying them like that, flat on the ground, on the soil, I'm just gonna push them in 2 centimeters maybe, a bit less than an inch. Those are big seeds, they're gonna push through the soil anyway, no matter how deep you plant them. They have plenty enough energy stored in them. And I'm gonna do exactly the same thing with Coco de Pampoil. Two seeds per pot. And like with the others, just push them in a about an inch, maybe a bit less. They're gonna stay outside here in the garden. I'm not gonna be putting them in the greenhouse. It's way too hot for them. It's way too hot for everything in the greenhouse. It's getting close to 40 degrees each day with the open doors and windows. So here outside should be the perfect place for them. And here we are. That's my succession preparation on the go. I just have to find some place for this tray, probably just behind you next to the potato pots. That reminds me, I still need to harvest the potatoes, but that's for the next video. So yeah, that was a easy process. The beans are sown. They should germinate fairly quickly and grow quite quick as well. It's middle of summer. It's bright and warm. That's what the beans need. I think it's a very good idea to plan your crop rotation. After you harvest bits and pieces, you're gonna have some plants to fill up all the gaps and continue growing. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you're planning for your crop rotation. For me, it's usually beans. It's the easiest thing to grow really, but there's plenty other things. Let me know in the comments, and thank you very much for joining me today in the garden. I'll see you very soon next time. Bye.